Hello, everyone, and happy Friday. So let's go over our trades here real quickly, and this will also serve as kind of our weekend update as well, because as we cover these, I don't think there's really going to be much else we can do. So this trade is still doing just fine, up 33%. We're still getting decay. This line is raising. If our market does rip up further, we could give back a slight amount in that, but if we take a look at the S&P, we have broken out above our 4,000 downtrend line, but we haven't quite yet made a new high. We're pushing on that. We're banging on the door here at about 4,100. So if we break through 4,100 and we close above 4,100 a day or so, we will have made a higher low. And at that point, we will have made a higher high, which often signals a trend change. So we need to be cognizant of that and understand and be aware of that. So that said, we do have some Fed talk coming up next week that could potentially impact this. And we are just kind of, we've had a big run here over the past 2 weeks. So we could be getting just a little bit stalled at this point. So we'll have to see. So coming back to our trade, if we take a look at this, we have no upside risk here. This trade is not going to turn into a loser on the upside. It could give back a slight amount of its profit. But again, I'm leaning toward letting that one decay. This one, even though we did widen it, we added another butterfly to it. Our market has run up a fair amount since then. We may need to look at doing something with this one early next week if the up move continues. So I'm hoping that we get a little bit of a stall or a pullback here. This one has no problems to the upside at all. We're just going to kind of leave that one as it is. We may end up rolling this wing up a little more next week. At the same time, we might roll this in, take a little risk off of that. What I'm looking at doing here on this one, so this one has run, we've had an order setting out there on it for quite some time now. And the goal was going to be to, take one of those butterflies off if we got a little pullback. Well, we did not get our pullback. So if we come take a look at this, I've actually modeled a new game plan here. So again, at this point, we were going to be taking off one complete butterfly. I'm just going to cancel that order. And then what I'm looking at instead here is a modification to this trade, essentially turning it into a lottery ticket. So this was the trade that we had proposed. Again, just pulling one butterfly off, but we needed to get a little bit of a pullback in order to make that happen. And we just didn't get it, and it just did not hit. So what we can do, and when I say a lottery ticket here, this isn't really a lottery ticket because we're pulling off one of these spreads. We're not just pulling off a short. If we were to just pull off a short to where we had unlimited then profit potential to the downside, well, then that's going to put our upside a little bit more at risk. Right now, if the market continues up, we're essentially looking at a scratch trade. We won't make money on this. We might lose a couple bucks or make a couple bucks as the case may be. But there's no inherent risk to the upside. So I'm planning on having this basically add some negative delta into this portfolio for the next week or so to see if we do, in fact, get that pullback. So let's go ahead. We're going to order that selected adjustment. We're looking at like 35 cents in debit. I'm going to see if there's a chance I can get that for 30 cents. Maybe not, but we'll try. And I'll let that set there a minute or two. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get our fill at 30 cents. So I'm probably going to have to come up to 35 cents on this and see if we can get our fill there. Yep, there we go. So we got our fill on that. And so now this will add in some negative delta. So if we do get a pullback, we can maybe, pick up a little bit of, a little bit of additional income off of this. If we do not, we are looking at a I guess that would be about an $18 gain, somewhere into maybe an $11 loss, somewhere in that general range. So essentially what I would call a scratch at this point. So again, we come back, we look at our graphs page just to take a look at the other trades we have out there. So, this one largely okay. This one got a little bit of negative delta on it. This one now has quite a bit of negative delta on it. But this one had quite a bit of positive delta on it if we get a pullback. So again, we're kind of counting on this to maybe offset this guy a little bit and possibly this guy. So we're kind of balancing these out, so to speak. In addition to that, not part of the class trades. These are some personal trades that I've got open. This one's going to expire here today. I did kind of the same thing with this. I just essentially locked it down. I left myself a lottery ticket. Lottery ticket's not going to hit, but at least I had worked it into a decent upside profit along the way. So that's kind of where we're at going into the weekend. And I wish everyone the best. And again, this will serve as this trade adjustment and also the weekend update.